Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and the place to be, it's Deb C. Boop, boop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Well, that's a little low. I'm not a fan of that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. It is a happy Monday for me because I have today off. I took today off, and then I used PTO to take today off, and then in the past, and then because I have to work Sundays this month, they give you a day off during the week. So I have Wednesday off. So today, went out, got my coffee, got my breakfast, took my shower, took my everything shower. And Jack, you can't see him, but he's in that little chair over there in the other room. And so I thought that I would get my video done early today. I watched Real Housewives of Beverly. Why do I have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Real Housewives of Rhode Island last night. It is season 1. It is episode 3. Did it say 3 or did it mean 4? Anyways, the title is Saturday Night Fever. I watched it once last night just to for enjoyment. And then I watched it again, made my notes. So let's get into it. Okay. Jared and Ashley visit Rosie and Rich at their house. This was crazy because they were talking about the winery, and here's something I never thought I would hear Rosie say. She felt bad for Joellen at the winery just because of everything with Rula. Speaking of Joellen, Joellen and her husband were talking, and she was also talking about the winery, and she was like, I really wish someone would have given me a heads up that the ladies had met with Rula, that some of the ladies had met with Rula prior to the winery. Rula, it turns out, listen, there's going to be a party. We find out from Liz and Jerry that there is going to be a Studio 54 party in honor of her husband, Jerry's. She's married to Jerry's 54th birthday. What is it with Studio 54? That is a really cool idea though. So Rula and her husband, Brian, are going to be at the Studio 54 party. So this is going to be the opportune moment for Joellen's husband, Gary. So Joellen's married to Gary, and Liz is married to Jerry, which now makes me think of Gary Gergich from Parks and Rec. So Gary's like, cool, he's going to be there. Let's talk. Because remember, Brian and Rula went to why is I going to say Luann's, Joellen's company, and tried to get her fired because she had mentioned that Brian was having an affair, and still is. And tried to get her fired, and that's shitty. Okay, speaking of Liz and Jerry, they're out bicycling, and they stop, they talk. She is really she's upset, and it seems like she's really hurt too, that Alicia, she's known Alicia for forever. And here's Alicia bringing it up, this whole rumor with her, of Liz cheating on Jerry with one of her best friends, Dino. So she's upset, but I feel like she's more hurt that Alicia asked about those rumors. So there is going to be a Studio 54 party. In this episode, we get to meet Kelsey's other man. And this is Bill. She's known him for a while because it goes back to they show a picture of him from 7th grade or something like that. They've known each other since childhood. And I'm going to tell you, listen, she says, Kelsey's listen, if he can do it, meaning boyfriend number 1, if he can do it, then why can't I? That's exactly right. If he's going to step out, why can't you step out? And I don't think her first boyfriend is saying anything about it. And he shouldn't say anything about it because He's doing it. You know, he didn't want to put a ring on it and commit to anything. But Kelsey says her family loves the first boyfriend, like the older man. But her mom seems to really, really love Bill, like the second one, because they show a flashback and she's like, how's my future son-in-law Bill? So they really, really love. I think if given the choice, I think they would have her marry Bill. But here's the thing. She's keeping him at like arm's length until she figures everything out. So here's the thing. Bill wants kids. The other one does not want kids. But the thing is she says, like, he doesn't have the money that the first one does. So he can't provide for the life that she's used to living. And she says, I could work. I mean, I can work, but I just don't want to. Girl, none of us want to work. Like, you know, none of us want to work, but you just have to. At some point, like that, when she said that, I was like, ugh. Listen, just become an adult. Go out there, get a job. Everybody, just go out there and get a job. Please, you're pissing me off. Okay, Liz visits Alicia. Okay, her house. She says that her house is under construction. So that's why all the dolls are in the living room. And then they show the dolls. I'm going to tell you this much. There's one thing among many that freaks me out. And that is dolls. Now, not maybe so much the Brat dolls, but like, you know, the old-timey dolls like Annabelle, like those ones that when you lay them down, their eyes close and then like, and then they sit up and it's instantly like, you know, those dolls, those antique dolls, those ones, old-fashioned dolls. But still, you walk in and there's like a whole bunch of dolls there. And she says they're just here for construction. But Liz was on Watch What Happens Live. And she was like, it was edited out. But Alicia told me that they're here even when there's not construction. I don't know. Alicia says she's fascinated with them. They're like art for her. She's fascinated by them. Girl, not me. Alicia immediately is like, listen, I don't want you to think I was attacking you about Dino. And Liz is all like, oh no, it's okay. You know, there's things that everybody has, there's something that everybody has to be questioned for. And then they got into the subject of like, why isn't Alicia married? Like, she's been engaged for 9 years. The reason why she's not married, I don't have anything to do with her fiance. It has to do with Alicia, because she said she's just not in any hurry to get married, because there's like so many people, there's so many women in her family who've been fucked over by a man. I think she said like 5 of her 6 aunts are divorced. And what her father did to her mother was terrible. Like, divorced her mother, sounds like left her with nothing. So I can completely understand that. But this is not the dude to hitch your wagon to, because he wanted a prenup. He wanted her to sign a prenup. She said no. She had her lawyers look at it. And the lawyers were like, he's not offering you a penny. He's not even offering you 1 penny. He won't let her name be on the house. She has to go to him if she wants money. No. May a love like that never ever find me. No, because listen, here's the thing. You sign that prenup, and then you get married, and then he cheats on you, and then you get divorced, and then you're left with nothing. No, she don't even work. And Liz is like, you need to get out and get some more. You need to get a job. And she's like, yeah, maybe I'll go in with, what's it called? Pizza Mama, or I don't know. She's like, maybe I'll get in and do something with the pizza shop, the one that her fiance owns. No, don't do that. Go out, get a job that is not connected to him. You need, because what did we learn from Rachel Zoe? Rachel Zoe had her own money. She had her own revenue. So when it went south, when her wedding went south and they broke up, she wasn't completely in shambles like Dorit. You know, she had her own money. You have to have your own money to protect yourself, is what I'm saying. That dude is not the man. That's not the man that she should even be with, period. There's something up about him. Okay, so next, Rula. Rula's having some of her friends over for a Lebanese lunch, or Lebanese brunch. She's talking about how everything with her marriage, like with the cheating they're not allegations, how the cheating, because he admitted, because Brian, her husband, who I don't like, because he came and said, yeah, that happened, because proof was out there, because the mistress put pictures out there, you know, of her cozying up to him on his lap. She's talking about how to affect the kids. And she's like, the kids, they sense that something's going on. They sense that there's the difference. They sense like the shift between their mom and dad. But she's like, listen, in our culture, you don't walk away when someone makes a mistake. Like, you suck it up, you keep going. Divorce really doesn't run rampant in our culture. And she says that divorce was never an option. Like, she's never thought of filing for divorce and walking away. She's never thought of that. But then the producer is like, well, you've been divorced before, right? And she says, I'm not trying to talk about that. My family wouldn't love that. This, once again, I am once again getting vibes of like Jen and Bill Aiden. I get those vibes from this couple, especially from him. I get those kind of vibes. So she'd done it before, but maybe she did it before and she was kind of like, maybe she was ostracized a little bit from her family for a little bit. And that's why she just doesn't want to talk about it. And that's why she's not going to do it this time. Okay. So Ashley and Jared, they go to dinner. Ashley looks beautiful. He closes up shop at Audrey's. They go to dinner. Listen, hearing him talk about everything, that coffee shop is a money pit. It really does sound like it's a money pit, and it's tapping. He's working. He's constantly working, and it's just draining any kind of joy that he has. And he goes home and he says, well, it doesn't have anything to do with you or the kids. And that's awesome. But when he goes home, he is still he's still thinking about it. And he's still carrying like all that stress. So it's really not, it's not fair to Ashley and the kids, because when he's home, they're not getting like the authentic, happy Jared, you know, they're getting someone who's like only emotionally they're like 50%, you know what I mean? 75 or 50%. That's going to be the storyline. I don't see, if there's drama between Ashley and any of the women, I don't know that there would be, because she's not giving drama. To me, her storyline is going to be like the the growing pains between her and her and Jared, and the coffee shop, you know? It's almost like the coffee shop. Like, there's, like, he would never cheat on her with a woman, but he's kind of cheating on her with the coffee shop, you know? Because he's splitting time between her and the coffee shop. I get it. He needs to make money, but, like, even when he's not at the coffee shop, he's still worrying about it and thinking about it. You know what I mean? I heard something that was interesting, and I can see this, but somebody had said that Ashley on the show is almost like if they put a viewer on the show, because remember, Ashley does not have a history with any of these women. Like, the only person that she really knows is Rosie, and that's just because the two bonded over the fact that, like, they're on the younger side. Like, Rosie was in TV, was a TV reporter. Ashley was on The Bachelor. Like, they both like Justin Bieber or something, like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like, and when things come up, when storylines come up or history comes up, it has to be explained to Ashley, like, oh, well, this is what's going on between Rula and Joellen, you know? So it's almost like they have a viewer on the show. And that makes sense. It really does. Okay, so speaking of Rosie and Rich, they go out to dinner. The conversation gets to kids. And Rosie does not want kids, but Rich does. Rosie doesn't want kids because there's like a trauma from her childhood surrounding her mother. Because her mother, she's like, I had to be absolutely perfect for my mother, and I wasn't. And also, there's the deal with, like, Rosie's family is Catholic, and Rosie's Catholic, and Rich is not. And they were going to have, when they got married, they were not going to have a Catholic ceremony. And her mother was, like, to the point, I guess, where she was almost going to, like, disown her daughter if they didn't have a Catholic ceremony. And I think that's shitty. Listen, I think that's shitty. Just let them have the ceremony that they want to have. Forcing your religion on your kids, I think that's shitty. I just do. Let your kids do what they want. If she didn't want to have a Catholic ceremony, then big deal. I mean, I think that's so stupid. But Rosie does say that, wait, hey, maybe in 5 years, maybe I'll change my mind about kids. Rich obviously is hoping she changes her mind sooner than that. Okay, so the Studio 54 party. Liz's house is the absolute perfect house to have a party. It looks like the absolute perfect house for a party. It's huge. It has that expansive back space, like back area to have a party. She has a pool. She has a lot of space. It's right there in the water. Maybe not that great if you're drinking and you fall in the ocean, but is it the ocean or the lake? The ocean. Anyways, it looks like a great time. Kelsey, now listen, Kelsey was not live for Studio 54, but she showed up in an outfit that would have been perfectly suited for Studio 54. Because here's the thing. As soon as I saw that, my mind went to Amanda Francis as the outfit for Rachel Zoe's Studio 54 party. It looked nothing like what people would wear to Studio 54. She was just like, I'm going to just wear some bright pink. But Google, because possibly maybe Rosie Googled it and saw like what people wear, or maybe she had a stylist who Googled what you wear, or no. But I'm just saying, you can always Google so that you're appropriate with the theme. Okay, So Rula and her husband Brian are on the way there. I noted this because there is such a stark contrast between what she says on the way to the party and how she acts at the party when confronted. Because Rula says, I hope no one pushes me. I hope no one pushes me or they'll see the Lebanese come out. You know, like, you better not push me. Otherwise, I'm about to show my ass. We'll see. Rosie comes in. I'm kind of becoming a little better with Rosie, because sometimes Rosie will say things that are just out there that I would maybe say. Rosie she had to change her outfit because she was like, my first outfit, I had to change it. I'm bloated. I'm on my period and I'm bloated. And the outfit that she had on before looked fantastic, but she had to change. And now she's like, now I'm wearing these pants. The pants are too tight. I look dumb. The pants did not look great on her. It almost kind of looked like she had on a diaper. But I like that she just said what was on her mind. Okay. So Dina was invited. Because he's like best friends with Liz, but he's also very good friends with her husband, with Jerry. I'm going to be screwing up between Jerry and Gary. Liz invited him because they are close friends, and just because she wants everybody to see that, like, listen, we're friends. Nothing is going on. It's normal for all of us to be hanging out. Kelsey's other man shows up, not with Kelsey, not as her plus one. And this is not a hard launch. He's been friends with Jerry, so he would have been there anyway. Girl, he comes in. Oh, he comes in strapped. Like, he comes in. If somebody like that walked into a party, I'd be like, shit, is this a stripper? Did somebody hire a stripper? Because he come in them tight ass plaid pants and a matching vest with nothing on, a no top on underneath. Shit, guns out, guns a-blazing. Oh my Lord, welcome to the gun show. I was like, shit on a shingle. Damn it. So let me get a glass of water here. Oh, girl, get on that. Okay, so Rula and her husband show up. He instantly looks like he don't want to be here. He looks awkward. He looks like he knows what people were saying. He knows that people know what he did and what he's probably still doing. He looks like a fish out of water. Jared talking to Rosie. First of all, Ashley looks perfect. But there was a moment, like, for a split second, I was like, is she looking like Lea Michele? You know, Rachel Berry from Glee. I was like, and even though she screwed up her bangs, she said she screwed up her bangs because she was cutting her bang. She was cutting like the fake bangs, and then the real bangs, she cut them. I don't know if those were the real bangs or the fake bangs. If they're the real bangs, they look perfectly fine. She looked great. But Jared just looks like he just threw on some regular pants, some jeans, a belt, and like some shirt and unbuttoned it. And Rosie was like, oh yeah, you look like maybe you'd be somebody that was hired to come and strip or something. And Jared was like, oh, I was a Chippendale once. Somebody find that tape. Yeah, somebody needs to find me that tape. Somebody for sure needs to find me a tape of Jared is at Chippendale. Would I watch it? I sure would. I would throw dollar bills at the screen. Okay, Rula and Ashley are talking, and this is before Joellen gets there. And Alicia's like, you know, Joellen's telling people that you and your husband tried to get her fired. And she's like, Rule's like, no, that's not true. Maybe she didn't, but I think her husband definitely did. So Joellen and Jerry get there. And so Joellen and Jerry pull Rula and Brian aside. They were talking to Dolores. And then Dolores, of course, as the seasoned housewife, goes over and tells everybody, hey, listen, it's happening. So Jerry immediately is like, what the fuck's going on with you calling my wife's work and trying to get her fired, my wife's job and trying to get her fired? Brian all of a sudden is hemming and hawing like he don't know what he's talking about. Brian is like, oh, I didn't call. I talked to, maybe this guy knows her boss or something, but he says he talked to someone who then called Joellen's boss. And I don't know if he said that he sent the email or somebody else sent it, but there was an email sent. I mean, it was sent from her boss to Joellen, so it's out there. He's saying, well, listen, it wasn't my intent to get her fired. I just wanted her to stop talking about this, spreading this. Maybe you should have told your mistress not to post that photo. And Rula's like, you're out here spreading rumors. Once again, the rumors were put out by the mistress. They're out there. It's on the internet. Instagram is not private. If it's out there, someone is going to find it. And Jerry's like, I don't give a flying fuck about what you're doing. Meaning, I don't give a shit if you're cheating on your wife. I don't care. You should have come to me and I would have shut it down. I care about what you're trying to do to help take money away from my kids. And Joellen's like, he's still having an affair. And he's like, he doesn't say anything. And she says, oh, my kids, he's still having an affair. Rula tells him, speak your piece. Speak up. He didn't say nothing. The only thing he says is, we all have things that we do. That's it. That's all he says. And Joellen, meanwhile, in confessional, is just like, I'm not going after Rula. I just want her to know what he's doing because I would want somebody to let me know. So Rula leaves. They're in the car home. And she's saying, I wish you would have said something because you didn't stand up for me. Like, Jerry stood up for Joellen. He didn't do any such thing. This guy is still having an affair. You can't tell me he's not. So at the end of the episode, Liz wants to go down to the seawall with Jerry and Dino, just to show everybody that nothing's going on between her and Dino. Everything's normal. But Kelsey's like, I don't know if that's great considering with your ongoing shit. Liz gets pissed. Liz is immediately pissed. She's like, fuck you, Kelsey. Runs away, goes up to her bedroom. Kelsey follows her. They're screaming. And Liz is like, you got more to hide than me. And she's saying that Liz is trying to distance herself. Not Liz. That Kelsey's trying to distance herself from her own story with Dino. And listen, beforehand, when Kelsey saw Dino was there, Kelsey had said something like, I missed it, but Kelsey had said, oh, no, Rosie. Was it Rosie? No, Kelsey said, when Dino arrives, Kelsey had said, I don't think it's good for them to have, she said something like, I don't think it's a good thing for her to have Dino here because it reminds people of the rumors. And then Kelsey said, I pretend he doesn't exist. I have no idea what anyone else sees, but I ain't looking at him. And at that point, I was like, what went on between the two of them? Like, what happened between the two of them? And she ain't even looking at him. And then Liz says, once again, Kelsey was trying to distance herself from her own story with Dino by pointing the finger at me. And then the producer asked Liz, how does Kelsey know Dino? And Liz was like, well, you're going to have to ask Kelsey. And then on Watch What Happens Live, later on, Liz had said that Kelsey dated Dino. So we'll see. So listen, in the comments, if you watched, let me know what you thought. If nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please spread kindness because it is free. Also, let's be aware of our surroundings. Be smart and safe. We're going to hydrate with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you make it through. And I, with that, will see you either tomorrow. I will definitely see you Wednesday. Maybe tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday because I'm going to the movies. Okay. Everybody have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys. Bye.